The call came after dinner on a cold Monday night as I was watching the TV news at home. There was a computer problem at work. A software failure had knocked out the network of the National Security Agency. "Give me a sense," I asked the duty officer over the secure line. "What are we talking about?" "It's the whole system. A result of overloading. One of my technicians later described us as victims of a data storm. The sheer volume of collection had overwhelmed the capacity of our networks as they had been configured. It wasn't unlike a nor'easter overwhelming what seemed to be sturdy docks, breakwaters, and seawalls on the nearby Chesapeake Bay. Not entirely our fault. NSA had experienced years of declining budgets, a shrinking workforce, an aging infrastructure, and little new hiring. Running hard just to keep up, we had let the network become so tangled that no one really seemed to know how it worked. There was no real wiring diagram anyone could consult. Picture Darren McGavin's character playing in the tree in A Christmas Story. That was us. It was January 24th, 2000. I was a 3-star Air Force general, and I was just finishing my 10th month as DERNSA, the director of the National Security Agency, America's largest and most powerful spy agency. I was still relatively new, but I didn't need the duty officer to explain the magnitude of the problem. Signals intelligence, or SIGINT, is a continuous process, a kind of espionage production line where communications are collected, processed, analyzed, and reported 24 hours a day. At that moment, satellites and earthbound collection points around the world were still intercepting communications, their vast take, telephone calls, faxes, radio signals, still pouring into memory buffers. But once in hand, the data froze. We couldn't move it. Nobody could access it. Nobody could analyze it. It wouldn't take long for intelligence consumers to notice something was wrong. They could tell it when their morning take showed up light or didn't show up at all. For all intents and purposes, NSA was brain dead. I nervously called George Tenet, the director of Central Intelligence, on a secure line and broke the news to him. There was nothing either of us could do but get out of the way and let the technicians try to figure out what was wrong. As keepers of the nation's secrets, we now had another one to keep, a secret Saddam Hussein or Osama bin Laden or any other enemy could have used to great advantage. The next morning, the only consolation I had was the snow. A record blizzard had blasted the Washington area and shut down the federal government, giving our gathering army of computer engineers and techies some time, without the workforce around, to bring the agency out of its coma. But despair deepened as 2 full days passed without progress. The full complement of mathematicians and linguists and analysts reported back for duty Thursday morning, only to find a handwritten message taped to all the doors and badge readers. With amazing understatement, we announced, "Our network is experiencing intermittent difficulties. Consult your supervisor before you log on." The crash had now become a genuine security crisis. By noon, at a hastily called town meeting, I walked onto the stage of the agency's Friedman Auditorium, named after a married couple, William and Elizabeth, both pioneers of American cryptology, and told thousands of employees, in person and on closed-circuit television, what had happened. "We are the keeper of the nation's secrets," I said, at the end of my grim presentation. "If word of this gets out, we significantly increase the likelihood that Americans get hurt. Those who intend our nation and our citizens harm will be emboldened. So this is not the back half of a sentence tonight over washing the dishes that begins, 'Honey, you won't believe what happened to me at work today.' This is secret. It doesn't leave the building."